Welcome to the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast. You are now part of a small underground movement of dent technicians from all over the world. We are on a mission to change our industry with innovation, intelligence, and skill. But because we don't rely on an insurance company to steer customers our way, we need to do things different. We need to do things smarter. We do that through a network of technicians that we call the Tactical Tech Movement. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hiley here with Angela Hiley and the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast.
Oh, shit.
Hope you guys are having an amazing day today. So what's going on, Miss Angela Hiley?
Nothing.
Huh?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Well, come on. I want you to elaborate some stuff for us.
No, you can't be
She actually just informed me of a very important announcement. Apparently, Lil Wayne just endorsed Donald Trump.
Yep.
Yay! And, you know, I was walking around the house, and I was basically going from the window to the walls till Joe Biden sniffs my balls. Skeet, 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 Carmella. Skeet, skeet, skeet. Oh, bam. Ooh-ha. So as I'm doing this,
really good.
I'm thinking like about the Facebook post that I'm getting ready to write, the lyrics and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And how I'm getting ready to do a picture of Lil Wayne. And then I was informed that that was actually very, very similar. Little John sung that song, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he was part of like the Yin Yang Twins.
No.
Was that it?
No. He's
Shit.
his own rapper, and then the Ying Yang Twins are their own. But I think they did it together.
Man, this shit's a little past my time. Like, even Lil Wayne is a little past my time. I mean, you know, I grew up with 2 Live Crew, Slick Rick, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. I grew up with the original OG shit. I mean,
Eazy-E.
Tupac came along, Eazy-E, of course, NWA, Ice Cube. I mean, so that's the generation that I grew up in. By the time Lil Wayne came around, I was in my 20s or something like that.
No,
Yeah, we would have been in our 20s.
No, 20. Like
20. So at that time,
like
I mean,
20.
Yeah, at that time we were listening to other
Because
shit.
he did some stuff with like first it was like Big Timers that came out. They were under, I think it was like Master P. Remember how he had like a whole big group of
Yeah. You guys know what
artists?
Master P means, don't you? You know what Master P means?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
The master of profits. The master of making money, man.
Money, money, money.
Well, he did have that song how he had to check his crack house.
Oh.
You know, that's where the whole philosophy making $1 out of 15 cents came from. Because apparently for cocaine, it only costs 15 cents, and then you cook it and you get $1 worth of crack.
Oh, okay.
That's a big profit, big turnaround.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like with the way all the dent guys talk about people undercutting each other and shit like that, like, why the fuck aren't crack dealers undercutting each other, getting the price down on that shit? What, do they got some, like, union or something like that?
I don't know.
You think there's, like, a crack union where they all get together and shit and be like, man, we can't be letting these prices go down. These crackheads need to be paying, y'all. We need to be making $1 out of 15 cents. Probably, like, voting on it and shit.
Probably.
Protesting. Like, we ain't gonna sell crack anymore. That's a dirty word in the dent removal industry.
shit.
There was a couple people that tried to bring up the old union word in the dent removal industry back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got the old, you know, I still say it, man. Maybe you are. I doubt if you're a Democrat and you're listening to me. Maybe you are, because I got some Democrat friends that don't, well, I got just a very few that don't get super offended by me. But that being said, you know, I still say that most dent technicians that I know are just, you know, there's a lot of good old boys. And there's a lot of dent guys from Texas. There's a lot of dent guys from, you know, down south. Of course, north, east, west, whatever. But most of the dent guys I personally know lean towards the Republican, conservative, or if anything, they don't give a fuck, but they want to keep their money.
Yeah.
So they lean towards whoever's going to save them more money.
Oh, dear Lord, dear Lord.
You know, so I forget where I was going with that.
I don't know.
I forget where I was going with that.
That's kind of a little
I think I was
Land.
just giving you guys a speech of how proud I am of you motherfuckers.
There you go.
I'm proud as hell. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's even my handyman defriended me on Facebook.
No, you don't know
No,
that.
wait. Yeah, no, I do, because you can see him and I can't. He blocked my ass.
Maybe just until the election's over with, and then it'll be fine.
Yeah, he couldn't
That's
take
probably
he
what
couldn't
it
take it
is.
anymore, man. And you know what it is? It's my mental game. It wasn't even that, like, you know, he was always trying to get me to argue with him and shit, you know. So I would always be, if you guys haven't checked out my my personal Facebook wall.
But our handyman Ed is a very nice guy.
Yeah, but he's still crazy. He's still crazy liberal, dude, at the end of the day. Like, he was one of them guys where, okay, so occasionally I would see, like, because I follow Donald Trump's Facebook page, and occasionally, you know, I would get on there back in the day. And I mean, this is before the election or anything like that, but occasionally something would catch my eye, and I would get on his Facebook page and, you know, maybe read a couple things. And for some reason, like, Facebook will always take your friends and put them up at the very top in their comments. And guess what? It wasn't none of my Republican friends, any of that was up there commenting. Every single fucking post had Ed on there telling Donald Trump how much of a shitbag he was. And I mean, this was back when, you know, right after he got elected, and then, like, there was honestly no stopping. You could go through every single one of Donald Trump's posts, and it's like Ed went there religiously at the end of every day, found every one of Donald Trump's posts, and told him how much of a shitbag he was in each and every one of them.
He's still a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I'm
guy.
just hoping he'll still work on our stuff for us. He defriended me on Facebook,
I don't
man.
think he defriended you.
No, he defriended me and blocked me, actually.
Yeah,
There's a reason why I can't see him. And it's not because I blocked him.
you can't be friends, but like...
Oh, yeah, I know where I was going with all that, about the Republican, dent guy Republican thing. Is that my mental game is strong, man. You know what I mean? Like, somebody gets on there and argues with me or calls me names and stuff like that. There was a little while I would, like, outburst on people, but that was usually just so I could get the Facebook algorithm pumping juice in my direction. Mm-hmm. You know, because here's the way Facebook works, guys. When somebody, like, when an argument breaks out on one of your posts, like, Facebook continues to serve the algorithm. So each and every time somebody comments, like, every minute, Facebook will serve it to more people, which give more people a chance to see it and comment it. That's how the algorithm works. And they actually have, like, a hierarchy of the way that they rate the algorithm. So meaning that, like, if somebody, for instance, just, like, clicks on your post and drops the see more, like, they're going to read it. Like, Facebook knows that shit. Like, they know if you do the see more and you read it.
Oh.
Facebook knows how many seconds that you'll stay and watch a video. Facebook obviously knows the difference now. If you like something, if you laugh at it, if you're mad at it, or if you heart it, if you really love it.
Yeah.
Facebook pays attention on the editor's end how long you are. It's like the way Ryan Stewman explained this to me is Facebook's a lot like your old lady, a lot like your wife. They're timing how long you're in the box.
In the box.
She'll get that later, guys. So, but Facebook is actually...
Like if I'm mad at you?
Sure. Yeah, that's it.
No.
So...
I want to know what that means. In the box.
Let's just say Facebook is timing how long you're in the box, meaning...
In the bathroom?
No. Let me explain this. And we'll go back to that. Let me explain this.
I want to know what that means.
So Facebook is timing how long you're typing because they feel that if you're in the, like, little box...
No, they don't want to... We don't care about that. No.
I know there's some people laughing about this right now that you don't even know what I'm saying. This reminds me of the time that you didn't know what tossed salad meant. You were going around, you thought it meant joking with people. You were going in where you worked at the elderly home and was telling them all that you were tossing their salad as you were joking with them. This is a tossed salad moment, guys.
What's it in?
My wife doesn't know what going in the box means.
Going in the box. Is it something gross?
Let's just say it means giving a woman oral.
But is there something else to it?
That's it.
That's it?
So Facebook times how long you're in the box. That's why I said, Ryan Stewman said as a joke, that Facebook times you like your wife does. They time how long you spend in the box.
I don't know if I've ever really timed you or not.
All right. So now we're moving on, guys. So I know you guys are right now.
Okay, now I know what that means.
Right now, you're eating obviously your Chick-fil-A, your Chick-fil-A biscuit morning sandwich. So we won't go there. We won't go there because we don't want your visual entertainment delight to go to that point where you're going to be spitting up your sandwich.
You kind of got like a little squeamish, and your cheeks started getting rosy.
So here it is. Facebook will literally they feel that if you spend a long time typing something out,
yeah,
you're spending some time in the box. That you're writing something more meaningful, and that actually boosts the algorithm. The next hierarchy is people that comment and people that share. So they put a hierarchy on if people comment and people share, they put more value on that, and then they begin serving you the algorithm again, right?
Yeah.
So the next thing that they do is comments on comments. So when somebody when you got like a runoff where somebody writes a comment and then somebody writes a comment under that and it continues to go, which is usually the way a Facebook argument goes, it really runs hot in the algorithm. So I always laugh because when Ed was arguing with like 5 or 6 dent guys on my Facebook page, meaning Ed the handyman, the liberal handyman, who defriended me and blocked me.
Oh my gosh, John.
Some of you guys might be shaking your head because you may have seen him. His name was Ed Mosier. And so some of you guys may have seen him because there was a lot of people like arguing and battling with him on my Facebook wall. So, but I always laughed because and it kind of pisses me off that I don't have him anymore because they were really juicing my algorithm. I mean, when a fight broke out, Do
you think he
sometimes
caught on?
I would go in there and throw a couple jabs because I knew that he was trying to get my attention. So I would go in there and toss a couple jabs in there on him, just because I knew he would just go off right after that.
But do you think he caught on that something was going on?
He may have caught on. Well, because I was sitting there telling him that, like, when they would have like 100 comments under one of his comments, I would let everybody know that thank you, you just juiced the algorithm and you got my message out even further. Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Huh.
And so I wasn't really hiding this from anybody.
Yeah.
But it never stopped him. And but I feel like kind of bad because now it almost seems like every single liberal person that used to argue on my Facebook has like given up and disappeared.
I don't know. I guess you broke them.
But I think what really breaks people is when you ignore it.
Yeah.
Most of the time, like, I don't really care. Like, I think it's kind of funny. I got a couple friends that write some shit from high school. And I still consider them friends because they haven't, ran off on me like old Ed.
Yeah.
But, they write some shit occasionally on there. And I don't get on there, man. I don't take that shit personal. Like, I think it's kind of funny.
Are you sad that Ed's not friends with you anymore?
Well, I might have been doing damage to him. Like, he might have been having like little mini heart attacks and shit like that because of me. Because every time I post, it seemed like his I mean, if you could imagine just somebody going from like just probably calm and collective, he was enjoying his day, right?
Yeah.
And then he just pops out his phone. He goes, wonder what's going on Facebook.
Yeah.
First scroll, he sees one of my fucked up memes. And literally just goes from like 0 to 90 miles an hour, man. And like I could see like the pulse on the side of his neck just start bumping. His heart just starts.
I wonder if that's what happened. Wonder why it bothered him so bad.
There's some people that can't control their emotions when it comes to politics.
Oh, okay.
But no, I see what you're saying. There's probably a deeper seated issue.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is I've never really got down to the root of this because you see, Ed was in one of my business groups, and I still know a lot of the people that are in that group. And one of them is my chiropractor, and obviously I go see him quite often. But we'll talk about Ed because he's on our side of the fence, right? Mm-hmm. So he's a Trumpster. He wants to save his money. He wants, a businessman running the country, all this stuff. And but he says that something happened to Ed. He doesn't know what it is, but Ed actually used to be a Republican.
Yeah.
And something happened to him at some point. He thinks maybe a business partner screwed him over, or something at some point happened that made him completely flip a switch.
Huh.
So I would imagine there's some sort of like, it's always been said that like most liberals have like it's like a mental illness.
John.
No. I mean, there's a little bit off there. It's a little bit off.
Okay.
Let's just say it's a little bit off.
Okay.
So So if we did have any liberals listening to my show, they just
Oh,
all
goodness
left right now.
gracious.
Right now,
I guess so.
we sealed the deal.
They're out of here.
Oh man, yeah, damn. Well, come on over to my Facebook page. I could use a few new liberals to argue with to help juice my algorithm.
Huh.
Yo, that being said, guys, I just want to let y'all know that, man, we're getting pumped and getting stoked right now for the Dent Trainer Black Friday Cyber Motherfucking Monday sale.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like the Catalina wine spritzer of the PDR industry.
Probably is. I would say so.
That's like boats and hoes all weekend.
Boats and hoes.
Or wait, no, that would be more like, what did I dress up? Santa Claus, ho-ho-hos.
Yeah.
And reindeers and Santa Claus all weekend. I need some new outfits this year, though.
I know. That's what I was just thinking. We need to like.
Yeah, we're already getting some tools, guys. We're already getting tools in. Probably already got about $15,000 worth of tools sitting there. We haven't even approached anybody yet. So this is just stuff people have stepped up and offered. You know, they want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, all the tool companies. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, they all really benefit off of what we do as well. It's kind of like a mutual benefit thing. Mm-hmm. And if you think about it, to have me out there shouting your name all weekend long, and most of them, shit, I mean, they give me $1,000, $1,500 worth of tools, sometimes $2,000 worth of tools. Mm-hmm. I mean, what does that really cost them at the end of the day? So all of a sudden, I mean, who could throw $1,000 down and have me fucking saying their name, emailing people for them, shouting out their Cyber Monday, Black Friday sales all weekend long? Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I kind of look at a tool company, if I approach them and they're like, they don't want to be involved in it, I just kind of look at them like, man, you must be pretty stupid. Because, you know, the truth of the matter is, I mean, it's cheap. I mean, especially, I mean, you guys know. I mean, if somebody makes a tool and it costs them $100, they're going to sell it for $200.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's just the bottom line when it comes to retail. The crazy shit about that is that you do got to buy a lot of shit, though, to do that. So, yeah, I'll just give you guys an example. So whenever I bought the very first tactical that I ever had built was a one-off, and the thing cost me like $1,000 to have one of them built.
Really?
Yeah. And that's because they couldn't run production on them. So for the tool companies, like, look, tool companies out there that are manufacturing shit, they don't want to build one thing. I mean, they know that they kind of have to, because, you know, people got to get prototypes and stuff like that, but they're not going to fucking do that shit for free. And if they got to set up a machine, set up a time, like all of that stuff, like cost money. So the whole thing with manufacturing, like it takes so much time to set up a machine. It takes so much time to get it in their schedule. And there's just so much to it that you're paying like, you're going to pay a lot of that cost if you try to go do a one-off. Unless you're like a really tiny, lower grade machine shop, you know, that's not going to be able to make a bunch of them for you eventually, then you might have a different scenario. That I haven't found yet. But for one tool, you're going to pay like $1,000. But then the trick of it is, man, is you got to ask them what maximum run, like meaning like whatever the amount of tools they can run to get the price the cheapest. You got to ask them that. You got to say, okay, so what is like your maximum run for like the lowest cost? And they'll give you a number. Sometimes that number actually equates to you having to write a check for $50,000 or $60,000 or even more, depending on the price of the product. I mean, there's been plenty of times where, here's a shitty thing. You do this deal with a tool manufacturer. Normally you get like a net 30 or something like that. For the longest time, I was just paying up front. And then we started working with people and they would do net 30s. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But like literally some of these deals were, you know, $60,000, $70,000. And then by the time you get them, you got to go get the people to etch the logos on them and all this other shit that has to be done. But by the time you're actually ready to sell them, you're already out that money. You got to pay that money.
Yeah.
You know, so that's there right there is the downside, and that's why if a guy gets a tool for $100, he's gonna want $200 for it, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these a lot of tool companies end up with inventory too. It's sometimes it can be a tough gig, but if you got a good tool, it'll sell itself. That's what I know. Like all of my tools that I brought out, I always sold out on them. But what I found was you were investing almost all that money back into the second run, because if you sold out, you know, a couple hundred tools in the second run, you'd want to buy 200 or 300.
Yeah.
So you'd end up reinvesting that money over and over again. But Anyhow, going back to the original premise of this, Black Friday, Cyber Monday is going to be off the hook this year. That's as long as our country is not in civil war.
I think we'll be okay.
I'm still doing it if we're in civil war. Man, fuck that.
Well, we'll be okay.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
My goodness. Why don't you talk about your book? You're editing your book.
That is true. That is true, guys. I don't know if any of you guys have got the invitation yet, but if you have not, then I'm going to give you the invitation now. Head on over to the Marketing Savage Facebook group. If you're missing out on this one, y'all, it's not like any other marketing group out there. In fact, there's a lot of different, man, and I'm trying to expose the paintless dent removal industry to this. There is a lot of different industries inside of my Marketing Savage group. The book that I'm writing is called Marketing Savage. So this group is kind of like a preamp to a book release that I'm going to have at the end of the year.
I'm so excited.
Possibly end of the year, beginning of January. We're trying to do it, but we're trying to do it soon. But we're going to do it right. So that being said, head on over to the Marketing Savage Facebook group. You're going to want to be a member of it. But like I said, there's a lot of different industries in there. I mean, there's people that I've featured here locally that own multi-million-dollar HVAC companies. There's people in there that own multi-million-dollar coaching companies. I got a guy in there who is probably holds nearly $1 billion in real estate. Just massive amounts. There's a guy named Dante Smiley who just became a member, and he's a friend of mine. He was met him out at the Apex Executive Mastermind in Dallas, Texas. And Dante Smiley is he's already a pro wrestler, and he's on kind of like I think it's like TNT, and they also have like a YouTube channel. So he's doing this he's a pro wrestler, and he's the champion. He's had like over like 7 or 8 pro wrestling WWF style championships. And he just got the invite for like WCW. And he went out there, did some work with them, was already on one of the wrestling. I mean, he's got like all of this amazing shit that's happening right now. And I mean, everybody from like different walks of life, like him. I've got fitness people. And I'm sitting here thinking, I mean, we've got Kale and Trevor who have the really good podcast out there. It's called Real Business Owners Podcast. In fact, I'm going to have them on here because the dudes are like around 30 years old, and they own a company out in St. George, Utah, that's called Easier Accounting, I think. It's called Easier Accounting or Easier Taxes. I think it's called it's Easier Accounting. And these two dudes are like 30 years old, and they built this company. It's like a $10 million plus company.
Wow.
And it's, man, their facility is insane, guys. I mean, it's like 4 stories and in a beautiful like office building. These dudes are killing it. In fact, we're going to be going out there because I'm going to be on their podcast. They actually, their business podcast is probably one of the top business podcasts in the country. Phenomenal dudes. We're thinking probably the beginning of next year, we're going to head out and I'm going to be on their podcast, and we're going to do some stuff with them. I'm actually going to spend the entire day with their staff and them, and I'm going to work on helping them in their marketing area, on how to monetize their podcast, and how to monetize some of the other. They own like a credit repair company, all kinds of shit. So, but they're inside of the group. I actually just gave them the Marketing Savage Award last week. And there's a bunch of dent guys, dent technicians inside of the group. I really rule it with an iron fist, and I haven't had to do that yet. But unlike the Tactical Dent Tech group, where I let people I don't even let them do anything. I just gave the whole group over to the community and said, "Hey, do with it with what you want.
Yeah.
Have fun, guys. And if any of you guys get mad enough to kick somebody out, then hold a vote on it and do it that way. This group right here, very professional, very, very professional. I mean, there's fucks and shits and all that stuff that you might hear floating around in there, but it's in perspective, considering the Tactical Dent Tech group, it's very, very professional, and we want people to hold themselves at a higher regard than what we do over there when we're having some fun.
Yeah.
Because I say the Tactical Dent Tech group, man, this whole podcast is about having fun.
Yes.
right? Mm-hmm. But then there's also times when you got to like separate it and you got to get a little bit more, you got to get a little bit more involved in some of the important shit as well, you know? Mm-hmm. And,
I agree.
Yep. So, but yeah, just all kinds of phenomenal people inside of the Marketing Savage group. You guys should go over there and check it out. I'm telling you right now, if you you're going to be handicapping yourself if you don't, because there's going to be so much good marketing information that comes through that group. I do the Marketing Revolution podcast. I actually do one every day. So if you guys haven't listened to that podcast yet, it's the Marketing Revolution podcast. And I've actually made a commitment probably about a month and a half ago to do 365 videos in a row, meaning I'm doing one every day. I don't give a fuck if it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever. You know, every single day I'm doing a podcast because I really want this year is going to be very interesting for us. And it has been. You know, we've been traveling everywhere and I've been doing a podcast, I mean, every single day. I mean, even we were in Zion National Park. I did a podcast every day and they're all recorded, but it's like a documentary of what this year is going to look like. So if you follow along on Marketing Revolution, you're going to be able to see the documentary of how we're going to be going through our book launch. I'm going to be launching a marketing course. Hopefully I'm going to have it done by Cyber Monday, Black Friday. And we're going to be launching something that's like in the neighborhood of like an inner circle community. That's going to be very involved. I'm going to have group coaching, like all kinds of great stuff happening this coming year. So, in a sense, we're going to be here. You know, we don't do as many of we don't do as many as the Tactical Dent Tech podcast. We like to try to do one once a week, but over there, I'm committed every single day to doing one because that's going to be kind of like the journey.
He's so awesome. He's awesome sauce. Remember how like you were in like a funk a couple days ago?
That's because we were watching all them crime shows. Like she had me watching all this shit about these criminals getting, you know,
they were wrongfully convicted.
I was having dreams about that shit.
Well, we watched one long series and then we started another one and then I end up having like really bad dreams and I was just like, no more of that shit. But anyways, where I was what I was trying to go with this is that when you were in that funk and I was like talking to you and you were just like, oh, I don't know if this is worth it and all this and that. And I'm like, babe, look at where you were like 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. And I'm like, look at where you are now.
I mean, I ain't going to lie, man. I mean, there's times like, you know, I think probably the day that she was talking about was that day. It was probably maybe 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah.
And I'm doing 75 hard right now, which you got to do 2 workouts a day. And I was on my first workout. And I was just walking around I do a weighted vest walk. So I put this vest on.
Yeah.
And I'll walk 3 times around like between our cul-de-sac and this bike trail that's out behind us. Like if I walk around that 3 times, it's 45 minutes and I get my first 45-minute workout done. And I'm walking and I'm literally just looking up at the trees. I'm looking up at the sky. And then I'm thinking like, because, you know, I knew that this week I had to have my book edited, which I pretty much have it edited.
Yeah.
I'm pretty fucking close. It's done. It'll be done by the 1st. And, you know, like all the shit was piling up on me, you know what I mean? Like I was thinking about everything that I had to be done. Like I've got Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I've got to finish the course to get it launched. I've got my book editing that's got to be finished by the end of the week. I've got a mastermind meeting that was today on Thursday. I had, you know, multiple of this and that and like all these things that are happening all at the same time. And, you know, I just looked up and was just like sitting there thinking like, why in the fuck am I doing all this?
Yeah.
You know, like, why in the fuck do I just I felt like at that current moment, especially after watching all them crime shows and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then having dreams all night that I was being framed by the police and then waking up like feeling exhausted because I'm fucking mentally drained because I'm dreaming about this shit all night.
I know.
Right?
And then you're like, why are we even watching this, Angela?
Once we quit watching it, like shit just like all of a sudden felt better.
Yeah.
Like the vibe,
no more
vibe just felt totally better. So, you know, and I would imagine, and I'm not even gonna say I would imagine. I know that every entrepreneur especially that really pushes themselves to a higher level, is always going to get to the point to where you're going to look around and wondering why you're doing this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like the weird thing about being an entrepreneur and doing some of the shit that I do and that many of my friends do, is that you're going to have like extreme highs and extreme lows.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think my lows are as low as some of I mean, there's some guys that I know that get in some really extreme lows.
Yeah, getting some funks.
Some very, very depression type, lows. Yeah. I don't think that mine is quite like that, of course.
No, because in all honesty, what's crazy is you hardly ever have those moments.
Yeah. So, I stay up most of the time. But, I get it. I mean, and another thing, I think where some of that low feeling was coming from, right? Some of that low energy feeling that I was having, where that was coming from, is that me and her's been traveling like every other week for the last like 6 months.
Well, we would travel like once a month
or twice.
Yeah.
And that adds a lot of like stress to your life, but it adds a lot of like excitement to your life at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think us being home this time and not having anything to look towards, somewhere to go or something to do for months, was also kind of wearing on me a little bit. It was like, okay, so we're just supposed to do this now, right? And I quite honestly, like before this year, I really didn't like to travel.
Yeah.
Like me and her, we just didn't like to travel. Mm-mm. And we really started traveling a lot this year, because COVID, everybody wants you to travel during COVID. The prices are cheap. There's hardly anybody on the airplanes. First class was like the same price as coach. And we're like, we're going to fucking travel during this COVID shit. So like the whole time, like everybody is like hunkered down and you're not supposed to go and travel unless it's for business. We're like, let's do some business. And we're just going, and we're like, holy shit, it's like $87 a night for this hotel. It's supposed to cost $400. Yeah. Rental car, we're renting Range Rovers for like a solid week for like $800.
Yeah.
And, that was actually kind of cool that the prices were so cheap on everything because nobody's fucking going out and doing anything, and me and her's globetrotting.
Yeah, that's
right.
But
during this time, I've grown quite fond of traveling. Mm-hmm. I really have. I've changed my tune about it. I like the feeling that I like the feeling of getting into a new city, getting into your rental car, driving places that you've never been before.
Yeah.
And just experiencing something new every day. Mm-hmm. It's a good feeling. And I think that probably now that we're just back here, mm-hmm. It's just been, we've done it a lot, man. We've just been traveling a lot this year. And then coming back, it's like, what am I going to do now?
We'll be doing that again here soon.
So, yeah.
Very soon.
So anyhow, y'all,
Yes.
Man, I'm looking forward to ending this year. I'm looking forward to, obviously, the election.
I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
My favorite holiday.
Oh, but guys, if you guys are in California, I'm just going to tell you that you're going to have to eat outside. You're going to have to sit at least 4 feet apart from Mamaw.
I thought isn't it 6 feet?
From Mamaw and Nana.
And Pappy.
And Pappy.
Don't forget Pappy.
Yeah, everybody's going to have to sit 6 feet away from each other. And make sure that you wear a mask and pull it down between bites. And then wait. And don't you dare sing unless you have a mask on.
Well, wait. Ain't you supposed to have the meal in like disposable ware or something?
Disposable ware. And people can use restrooms indoors as long as you sanitize them between uses.
That is so fucked up.
That's the truth, guys. Go look at what California, the shit they're saying out there.
That is so fucked up.
Yeah.
What the fuck has this world come to? Like, for real, out there.
There's a lot of people moving away from California. I mean, honestly, I think everybody who just greatly disagrees with California in general should move out of it and leave the people there that want to stay.
But here's the thing. You guys got to keep in mind that California is a blue state. So if you move to a red state,
Don't be
when
Californian, that motherfucker.
Exactly. That's why
Don't be
you. That's
bringing
why
your
you
fucking-
left California. Remember that. So when you move to, when you're in a blue state, when you live in a blue state and you move to a red one, you keep it red.
California is a fucking broke ass state now. And it's
Yeah.
broken in many ways. And don't be fucking up other states like you fucked up California.
Exactly.
Like, look, man, that's why I do not believe that other states should have to bail out other states, period. I don't believe Indiana should have to bail out Ohio. I don't think Ohio should have to bail out Kentucky.
Yeah.
I believe that should be the state's physical responsibility to live with its policies. And if California is fucking bankrupt, then let them fucking deal with it.
yeah.
Let them deal with it. Let them fix their own shit. There's no reason they should be taking any state that's operating with a different set of ideas. And that is exactly the way that our country should be ran. Okay? And then don't be, just because California's broke, understand why they're broke. It's because of the liberal mindset out there.
Yep.
That's why California's broke. That's why it's broken. And don't take that bullshit fucking liberal mindset into another state with you that's been doing just fine.
Right.
What you got to realize is that, hey man, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
I fucked up California.
Yeah.
Let's not go fuck up Texas.
Yes. Or Tennessee.
Plus them Texans that have you swinging from a tree. You fuck it up too bad. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
There must be some crazy people that live in Texas.
Well, shit.
Huh?
I mean, you remember like Ryan Stewman had one of the best rants that I've ever heard the other day. He was basically talking about, he's been anti-mask this entire time, just like I have been. I still am 100% behind that later on we're going to find out that these masks were spreading the virus because of people touching them and touching their hands and touching other shit.
Yeah.
All these masks are just a bunch of fucking horse shit. Everybody's wearing them just for compliance. They have no purpose. In fact, if anything, they're making the virus worse. That's been my stance since day one. I guarantee you 1-2 years from now, we're going to see studies that will back up what I said. And then I'm going to jump on Facebook and all them motherfuckers that were talking shit to me about, mask this, mask that, they can all fucking eat a dick, but they're not going to show up at this time. They're not going to fucking show up, right? So all of a sudden, because that's the way these fucking liberal people do. They fucking talk shit when they know it serves their agenda, but when they actually get proven wrong, they don't show the fuck back up.
Yeah.
They don't say, hey, I'm sorry. No, they just go talk some other shit about some other dumb shit and spread their bullshit that way.
True that.
So, but he had this rant. Ryan Stewman had this rant where he was basically talking about, he goes, some of you motherfuckers with this mask, we should just duct tape the fucking mask to your face, and he went on and called him a beta male fucking something. And basically, he just went on to say that,
Was that the funny one that you
he
showed
said,
me?
motherfucker, if shit hits the fan, there's savages like me out here. I'll fucking duct tape them masks to your fucking face.
Is that the one that you showed me that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like funny.
It was a good rant.
Yeah, that was a really good one because like he had like the crazy eyes.
He had the crazy eyes, man.
You don't fuck with
He
somebody when they
basically
get
said,
those.
and he's
Those
a
are the ones
and
you
and,
just turn
and
around.
my whole point with that, he's a Texan. He's a Texan, and unless you're in Austin, I guess from my understanding, from what he says, Austin would be like kind of like the Hollywood of Texas or a more liberal area of Texas.
Yeah.
I don't think that's all of you, but I do know some liberals. I can't think of a real conservative person out of Austin.
Yeah.
Maybe Charlie Molina, but maybe he's not because I don't know because me and Charlie never talk politics.
Yeah.
Charlie's a good guy, though. He's from Austin. And there's probably some other good guys from Austin I'm just not thinking of. If you came to one of my events, you're definitely a good guy. Because I can't think of one bad guy that came to my events.
Has there been any country singers that have sung about Austin?
And I remember some.
Just some, but not like.
Not a whole lot.
Okay.
I don't think Hank Williams Jr. was singing about Austin.
No.
I heard it's cool though, but like I said, that's going to be the more liberal place. So, but what I was getting to is that Ryan is a Texan, And he was being pretty fucking serious when he's talking about duct taping people and slitting their, things like that, right?
Yeah.
So don't be trying to California, Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I can't wait till we get out of Ohio.
Yeah.
One day soon.
Yeah, I love it here though. I still love it here. But
you still love it here?
You don't love it here?
Well, I mean, I'd rather be somewhere else.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
I didn't know you still loved Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh.
Born and raised.
I know. Well, I was born and raised too.
I was born and raised in Piqua, Ohio.
I was born and partially raised in Hamilton and then to Greenville. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about it is like, when we decide that we're going to leave here and move somewhere, I mean, really the only reason why is because we're going to want to surround ourselves with an area that's more wealthy and it's more, that has where we can add more value to the community there.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, one of the ideas was, who knows though? Like we've decided we're done fucking telling people where we're going to move, but we got ideas of different places that we like and we love.
Yeah.
And because we are, our son is 19 and we don't have any other kids, we're in position to do so. So we don't have sorry for you guys and gals out there that or you're 40 years old and you just had a 3-year-old or something like that. Sorry. I am sorry.
Yeah, but maybe they planned it that way.
Well, no, I'm just sorry to be saying that we're free and you're not.
No, you're not. Do you ever wonder, like, maybe it might be different for, like, because we had Jonathan when we were young.
Yeah.
So, but then these other people that have kids when they're older, do you think it's because they went out and probably was doing,
Yeah, you guys probably,
you're
probably bringing your kid up in a safer environment.
Well, I mean,
you're probably doing it much safer.
Yeah.
Let's just say we never really planned on the whole thing.
Yeah, but I mean, like, in all honesty, though, I don't know. I don't even think there's really a right way or a wrong way. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, probably the people that have had kids, like, in their late 30s, early 40s is because they probably didn't settle down till they were later.
But then if so back then it sounded like a bad idea, But now, when I'm sitting in position now, and I'm 39 years old and she's 40.
You're going to be 40 here, like,
so I'm 39 and she's 40.
Oh my God. But I look so much better than you.
It seems like it was a pretty fucking good idea. Meaning that...
Listen, people say, they're like, you're 40. And
we're
I'm
in
like,
our prime.
Yeah. They're like, you do not look 40 at all. I was like, well, how old do you think John looks? And they're like, well, I bet he's in his 40s. I'm like, no, he's still 39.
Yep, still 39. My friends tell me that too, though. They always say, oh my God. They said, I would have thought you were like 32 and your wife would have been like 42. My friends say that to me all the time.
You're being such a fucker.
I always show them pictures of me and you, and I go, can you guess how old we are? And they're like, you're the young one.
You'd be so glad that I can laugh at this.
You guys see how I'm walking close to fire right now. I'm walking pretty close to fucking fire.
Oh my God.
All right, y'all. We are working on about a dead battery right now.
Oh, we better get going.
It is getting close.
Going.
We appreciate you all.
We'll see you on the next one.
And as usual, we'll see you on that next one.
God bless America.
Pew, pew.
Bang, bang.